Hello everyone, welcome to the Football Terrace. We are here in Doha, Qatar, and we have more transfer news for you today because the Premier League is right around the corner. I am joined by Terry Flores. How are you?
I'm very, very good. You can hear the noise, you can hear the atmosphere building ahead of the semi-final tonight. And as you say, many transfers to delve into, which I always love.
Yeah, he does love a transfer rumor. But before we get started, make sure you guys download the OneFootball app. It's your one-stop shop for live scores, statistics, transfer news, and live Serie A games. So make sure you guys download the app. Do it right now. Get into it. All right, so where do we begin? Let's begin with Manchester United and Denzel Dumfries. He's been linked to a move to Manchester United. He's kind of been linked for a while. What do you think of Denzel Dumfries? I mean, 1 goal and 2 assists in the World Cup. Looked like one of the standout performers before they got knocked out. What do you think?
I'd rather Denzel Washington than Denzel Dumfries. That's the legit.
That's rude.
It's not rude. My personal preference is I find him to be a little bit like the opposite of Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I think he's brilliant going forward, but I'm not too sure what there is in the other direction defensively. So I do worry about him coming in and just being a liability for a defence at Man United, which has been ever improving under Ten Hag.
So what do you think about having somebody in your team that does the opposite of the player that's already playing in that position? You have Dalot, who's a good, well-rounded fullback, and Dumfries is a little bit more attacking. Couldn't that be useful to the Manchester United squad?
Look, it most certainly could. Personally, as much as I don't want him, and I don't rate him that highly, I want to be wrong. And I do trust Erik ten Hag. He's one of the best managers in the world. His recruitment so far at the club has been exemplary. The players that he's dropped and moved on, it was right to do so with. The players that he's invested time in at the club, from academy players through to Rashford, have nearly all improved. So I do trust him. If we sign him, it's not a disaster. It's just, I'm going to be really honest, he's just not a player that I think is very good. But as I say, I hope if he comes in that I am wrong.
You know what's interesting about Dumfries is when I watch him play, I actually think he'd be a good fit for Tottenham as a wing-back.
Yeah,
I don't know why they're not looking at him, because Emerson is terrible.
Yeah, again, the fact that, he would improve their attacking element, and defensively he's better than Chicken Royale as well. There's no doubt about it. He absolutely is better than that guy. But I think he'd be a great fit for them. But the Man United links to him seem very, very credible indeed.
All right, then. Manchester United fans, let us know in the comment section how you're feeling about the links to Denzel Dumfries. Are you sold on him? Are you not so sold on him like Terry? Let us know. Can't wait to see what you guys think. Sticking with Manchester United, strikers. It feels like everybody is looking at strikers, and Manchester United are no different. You've been linked to Karim Benzema today. Likely something that could happen? How do you feel about that?
I can't allow my hopes for Karim Benzema to seep in, because he is, in my opinion, the most underrated player of the last decade. He's one of the greatest strikers of the last 50 years to play football in anywhere in the world, but of course he's European-based. The level of Champions League goals, Real Madrid goals, La Liga goals, he's a legend. He's so good. I would love him at Man United. But personally, I'm not going to invest any stock in this transfer story, because I do not think it's going to happen. And I don't want to be left disappointed. Young men out there, don't chase that lady. Don't chase that guy, depending on your preference, who you know is out of your league and you have no chance of bagging. That would be Man United with Karim Benzema. I don't think we could get him. Don't waste our time. Move on to pastures new.
All right, so let's talk about some players that you can invest some stock into. Manchester United have been linked to João Félix, Ivan Toney, and Ramos. How do you feel about those options? Which player would you be most interested in coming to Manchester United? And beyond that, if you weren't to get the striker, where do Manchester United finish?
I like Toney. I think Toney's great. I watch him at Brentford. There's a very talented footballer, understands the English game. Of course, he's tried and tested in the Premier League. I wouldn't be adverse to us going out there, 35, 40 million pounds to bring him in. You mentioned Vlahovic?
I did not mention Vlahovic.
Who's the other one you mentioned?
João Félix and Ramos.
João Félix. João Félix I like a lot, but I think he wants to go to a team that's going to guarantee him that Champions League football. With where he's been in there regularly with Atletico. I think he wants to go to a club that is ready to go now, because he's not running out of time. He's young, but he's certainly been, for me, held back during his time in Madrid. I like Ramos. That performance he gave in the in the game against Switzerland was sensational. What he's done so far this season at Benfica and in the Champions League is also top notch. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. United are credibly linked to him as well. There's been an official approach now made by Man United, an inquiry made to try and work out pricing, to work out trying to get this deal done. There's no guarantee, according to Man United, they will bring him in. Price is going to be a key factor. But that's always a positive sign for Man United fans. When the club starts saying we really want to do this deal or a deal, but we don't know if it's possible, typically something does. Casemiro, great example. A couple of summers ago, Rafael Varane played it down, but went and got it done. So for me, lots of great options, but we have to go out and get a player like Ramos to fill that Cristiano Ronaldo hole.
So if you don't bring in a striker, where does Manchester United finish in the league? What happens?
If we don't, we will not make the top four. We need more firepower up front. There's no shadow of a doubt about that. We need more firepower up front. We need more goals. Ronaldo, I said it was a Ronaldo-shaped hole. Ronaldo weren't scoring this season either. So we need to go out there. We need to bring someone in who can hit the ground running, that can move the needle, that can make everybody, including big boys Arsenal at the top, go, ooh, United are cooking something down there. They're coming back up. If we bring in a prolific striker and he scores, Man United genuinely make the top four.
My thoughts on this are, when you have a player like Jadon Sancho who's kind of on the outskirts of the squad, you're not really sure how Ten Hag feels about him. You want to make sure that you have other options for the wing. Right now, Rashford is being used in that central position, and I'm thinking to myself, if I'm a Manchester United fan, I want to have the option of using Rashford on the wing. It's also Martial. He's not somebody that you can rely upon. So that number 9 has got to come in, not only just for January, but just in general. And so many teams are looking at strikers right now. I do think that Manchester United want to strike now. So, yeah, you guys let us know in the comment section what you think about the strikers. João Félix, Ivan Toney, Ramos, somebody else. Who's the right fit for Manchester United in January, and do you think it'll happen? Sticking with strikers, Chelsea, they're also looking at strikers. They've been linked with Moukoko. They've been linked to João Félix as well, which we'll talk about in just a second. But I think the biggest name and the most interesting name that's been mentioned today is Vlahovic. Looking like he's available to leave Juventus in January. Would he be somebody that could ignite that Chelsea front line with Sterling and Havertz and Nkunku that's coming in? Is he the right type of player?
Without a shadow. Vlahovic is legit. Vlahovic is the truth. He is a sensational striker. I know you said this privately, so I'm not going to take it from you. He's like a younger version of Harry Kane. But he made a tremendously bad decision in January 2022. His agent ignored the calls of Mikel Arteta and Arsenal Football Club. He moved from Fiorentina, where he was destroying Serie A, and moved to Juve. Now, Juventus has got absolute, not just problems, you're talking potential relegations, points deductions, and prison sentences for members of the board, past and present, at Juve. And you know my footballing philosophy and belief, when the board is running poorly, when the club is being run bad at its core, it manifests itself on the football pitch. And Vlahovic, he has not been able to demonstrate his quality because that football club has been run atrociously, and he has just come in and it's an absolute shit show. Excuse the language, and that's exactly what it is. What could he do at Chelsea? Everything. Hold the ball up, bring others into play, score goals, assist. He is a physical specimen. He's got a good amount of speed as well. I'm not saying he's Kylian Mbappe, but he's fast. He has got every single attribute you need. And as I've been saying all year, not many people are saying this, but I am, it's the return of the number 9s. Number 9s are now back in fashion. Whether they're prolific goal scorers or they're holding balls up and bringing everybody else in, the number 9 is back, and it's back with a vengeance. If Chelsea bring him in, he'll reignite that front line.
What I like about this potential Vlahovic move as well is that they don't have anybody like this in their team. And first of all, I've never seen Graham Potter with a striker. I'd be really interested to see him with somebody who just puts the ball in the back of the net. I know they have a Aubameyang, but he's a little bit past his prime, and he's not really working out at the moment. Vlahovic gives you that complete number 9, whereas I feel like, because Chelsea are linked to João Félix. João Félix is a great player, but they already have Havertz. He can play false 9. They're bringing in Nkunku. He can also play through the middle. So bringing in somebody that's a little bit more of like a sturdy complete 9 would be interesting, I think, for Chelsea. Would give them that old school feeling of maybe like a Diego Costa type player, somebody that's just a big physical
Drogba.
presence up front, a Drogba, exactly. So I like this for Chelsea more than I like João Felix. How do you feel about the João Felix links for Chelsea? Is that the right fit for them?
Well, as you say, Christopher Nkunku is done. He's coming in. He will be a Chelsea football player, and I don't see João Felix as an out-and-out number 9. Never have and probably never will. He, for me, is nothing. He's a support striker. He's versatile around that element, but he isn't an out-and-out central number 9. So if they've got a choice between the two, you go for Vlahovic. I think you've also got to factor Arsenal into this, because Arsenal Football Club have been linked with both again. Vlahovic is on the agenda. João Felix is there. João Felix, Arsenal are working very, very hard, and they've advanced the personal conversations on a serious level, according to many, many journalists. Now the reports in Spain are suggesting that Arsenal are now leading the race to bring in João Felix. And if Arsenal and Chelsea both fight for João Felix, he's only going one place, and that is going to be Arsenal. With where you are right now, the feel-good factor, the style of football, he will pick Arsenal. And Chelsea will be left with egg on their face. But they also don't need him, as we say. They've got Christopher Nkunku, and that is who they should focus on in that position. Vlahovic is different. You can play those two players together moving forward. That just makes a lot more sense, in my opinion. Plus, I don't think Arsenal are going to really go in for Vlahovic. I know that there's reports today that have suggested Arsenal is done now. You know, you don't go back to an ex.
Yeah, how can you go back to somebody who didn't even answer your phone calls? I feel like at that point, it's dead and buried. We went with Gabriel Jesus. And like I said the other day, for me, I'm more interested in João Felix versus like Mudryk. Mudryk is a winger. He can't do anything through the center. And I think if Arsenal do go after João Felix, that means that they potentially feel like Gabriel Jesus' injury is a lot more substantial than maybe they first thought. If Gabriel Jesus comes back in a month and a half, 2 months, I don't think you go after somebody that's going to play through the middle. You just move, you kind of go with Nketiah, you just work with what you have. If you go for somebody that's going to play through the middle and does it quite often, it's probably because they think Gabriel Jesus is going to be out for a little bit longer. So we'll see how Arsenal maneuver around that situation, and we'll also see what happens with Chelsea. But you guys let us know in the comment section what you think about João Felix. Who's the best choice for João Felix? Is it Chelsea? Is it Arsenal? Is it somebody else? And Vlahovic, do you think it's likely that he could end up at Stamford Bridge? Now, sticking with Arsenal, Ferran Torres, he's been linked to Arsenal, and I forgot about this, and I didn't tell you this before, is he actually was linked to Arsenal in the summer, and Arsenal put in a 30 million euro bid for him, or an offer that was rejected because Xavi wanted to keep him. So the links are there, they're substantial. What about Ferran Torres to Arsenal?
Ferran Torres, part of the reason that he left Man City was to do with feeling homesick and wanting to be back in Spain. So that would be a concern for me if I was an Arsenal fan. What if he comes in and 6 months down the line is feeling homesick again, wants to leave again? However, sometimes he may have felt homesick. He may have gone back to Spain, but maybe he realised when he got there, I weren't as homesick as I thought. Maybe the second time of leaving is easier. He's a little bit older now, more mature. Equally, Barca don't really want him. They haven't got the space, and they're going to look to buy beyond him. I think he would be a sensational player, without a shadow of a doubt, for Arsenal. When I look at Mikel Arteta now, I think his stature in the game is growing so much that it's easier for him now to bring these players in. The respect that he's got. You know, as we've already mentioned, you've got the history of Wenger and the French connection. I think you're now growing that Spanish connection. I think you can get into the head of Ferran Torres and say, listen, come and work with me. I'll take care of you. I'll nurture you. I'll make you feel like this is home from home. I can get the very best out of your talent. You've signed a number of players that weren't fancy when you brought them in. Ferran Torres may not be a player that Arsenal fans go, yeah, buzzing. This is a great signing. Let's get out the bunting and welcome him in. But Tomiyasu was laughed at by Gooners. Ben White was scoffed at by Gooners. Jesus on the biggest Arsenal channel in the world, big up Don Robbie. They will pick Richarlison over him, and you wouldn't swap now. None of you would swap now. So I would trust in what Mikel Arteta wants, because he's being proven right week in, week out. And I think Ferran Torres, if you can bring him in, maybe Torres is being looked at as an option with the striker. Because Mudryk, they're looking at 50, 60 million. Maybe you can pick up Ferran Torres now for 30, and then you also go out and buy yourselves an out-and-out number 9 because of the Gabriel Jesus situation, and you're killing two birds with one stone. So I think Arsenal, they will be busy this January window. Arteta has confirmed they're going to be buying people. You are going for this title, you're in this race, and I think Ferran Torres would be a very good addition.
So with Ferran Torres, it's, for me personally, I'm intrigued, but I have concerns. So my concerns are, like what you said about him potentially being homesick. We had this with Jose Antonio Reyes, rest in peace, that he was a great player that came in January and really helped Arsenal with their title challenge at that point, but did want to go back because he was homesick. And I am concerned that he may not even want to leave Barcelona because nobody wants to leave Barcelona once they get there, and that's his home. My second concern is the goal scoring. Does he have enough goals in him? He's not somebody that's known for being prolific, although a very good technical player. What I'm intrigued by is the fact that he's worked with Arteta already at Manchester City.
Yep.
And we've seen that players that are coming from Manchester City know the way Arsenal play and know our style and just kind of fit in seamlessly. So it is something that could work. He can play off of the wing. He can play through the center. He's a good age, 24, 25 years old, which is the kind of like the sweet spot for me. It's just a matter of Arsenal really pull the trigger. I think he will work if he comes in, but I do have some slight concerns. But Arsenal fans, let us know in the comment section what you think about Ferran Torres. Are you sold on him? Do you think he'd be a good option? Or would you like to go for somebody else? Let us know in the comment section. Terry, it's been so fun having this little chat with you. We love talking transfer rumors, and I love taking over your channel and running it. You guys, let us know in the comment section who you like better as a host. Thank you so much.
Lovely. Take care, everyone. Thank you. Goodbye. God bless.
You're dismissed. You're dismissed now. Bye. No,
I'm going to leave. See you later.
All right, you guys, we are going to watch the football. Obviously, Morocco and France play. I'm going for Morocco. I think Terry's also going for Morocco. So
I am. Morocco all the way. Let's go.
All right, we've been having a really good fun time in Doha. Make sure you guys download the OneFootball app, like I said at the top of the show. Has everything you need, one-stop shop. And also like this video and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.